Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on teenage discretion. In this video, I'm going to admit upfront that I have never experienced any kind of teenage discretion order in my case at all. So I have no personal experiences to go off of. I've had some requests to talk about it. My understanding is that teenage discretion allows a teenager to decide when to go to the other parent's house, to the non-custodial parent's house, or if it's a joint physical custody issue, how much time they want to spend at house A or house B. And it's just up to the teenager, and it's just right in the court order, so it's there's nothing any parent can do about it in principle. And that's what I want to stress and underline 3 times and put in bold and circle it. In principle, that's how it works. If two parents, here's the thing that's ironic about it. If two parents are cooperative and getting along, why would they need an order stating that teenage discretion controls? Because if two parents are cooperative and getting along, they're going to be flexible. And when their child is their teenage child says, I want to spend a couple extra days at dad's because I'm going to a friend's house near there, the parent will be like, okay, that's fine with me. I understand what you want to do. It's not in the order, but I don't care. Have fun. The case where you would need a teenage discretion order is the exact case where it's not a good idea to put it in there. And this is because in a high conflict child custody case, the high conflict abusive parent is going to exploit the fact that the teenager has a say in where they want to go. And the high conflict parent is not going to sit back and let that child choose of their own free will. They're going to manipulate that child. There's many ways that they can do this. A simple way is just bribing the child. You can stay up as late as you want. You don't have to do your homework. I'll do your homework for you. You can have free stuff, money, whatever you want. All you got to do is just say you want to stay here. And the other parent who may want to discipline the child or make sure that they do their homework or have a decent bedtime, the child's not going to want to go there. Now, this wouldn't work with two cooperative parents who care about their kids because both of the parents would be on the same page and they wouldn't allow, that kind of home life for their child. So the teenager wouldn't really have a choice between a parent who wants to bribe him and a parent who wants to discipline them. They would be two homes with similar rules and structures and similar intentions, and the teenager's preference between one home or the other would probably be based on legitimate issues or legitimate, something that they want to do and not something that they want to take advantage of or exploit. That's just one method. A teenager could also be raised to be passive or submissive, and the abusive parent may emotionally blackmail them, may threaten them, may coerce them, may make them feel guilt trip them. There's all kinds of control mechanisms at the abuser's disposal. So you're not going to really get teenage discretion. You're going to get high conflict parents' discretion. So to me, it doesn't make any sense because on the one hand, cooperative parents, why bother putting it into an order? And on the other hand, high conflict parents with an abuser and a victim parent is just going to be taken advantage of and exploited by the abuser. So you're not going to have teenage discretion. It's going to just be, the puppet master pulling the little strings of the child, putting them in the middle of the situation on purpose, making them choose sides on purpose, telling them all about the case on purpose, and basically being on their team, being their best friend, and you're going to end up with a horrible nightmare situation. Now, I do want to kind of go into a slight tangent here, a sad tangent, and that is that it may not ultimately matter even if you don't have a teenage discretion order in place, because oftentimes if a high conflict abusive parent is allowed to have an influence over their child for a long enough time, by the time the child gets to the age of a teenager anyway, even without an order in place, there's a lot of examples of high conflict parents just having the child refuse to go, or so they say, and that they don't want to put them into the car kicking and screaming, as they say. So even without an order saying the teenager has discretion, you end up with these controlling parents that say, well, my kid doesn't want to go, and I'm not going to make them go. I'm not going to put them kicking and screaming into the car. So, I mean, it's really a lose-lose situation. If anyone is dealing with a high conflict ex or an alienator or a personality disordered abuser, it's important that they take care of this issue as soon as they possibly can, and not just let it persist well into the child's teenage years, because I mentioned in my previous videos that oftentimes the teenager will side with the abuser because to them it appears to be the stronger, more powerful parent. The victim parent appears to be the weak and pathetic parent. They want to be the winner. They want to be in control. They don't want to be the victim. They don't want to be trampled on. And there's all kinds of other psychological distortions and emotional torture going on behind the scenes that's pushing the child in that direction. Sometimes it's just something as simple as acting like a teenager. Sometimes the high conflict parent will act like a teenager instead of act like a parent. And so, again, that goes back to the whole, the bribing parent that just lets the kid get away with anything that they want. I kind of feel like I've covered this topic well enough. There's probably some people who are going to get upset and say, my child legitimately hates the other parent and doesn't want to go there. I have a whole separate video on this topic. I don't want to re-explain that. I understand that's a possibility. I understand that, to me, I don't think it's the most common situation. I don't think it's super rare. I just don't think it's the most common situation. And if you want to hear my my take on parents who legitimately have a kid who doesn't want to go and see a neglectful parent, I strongly believe that in those situations it's a neglectful parent. I strongly believe that kids are afraid of the abusive parent. A parent who is willing to hurt their kid usually instills a very strong sense of fear in that child. Anyway, I explain all of that in this in another video. I'm probably going to post a link to it in the description below because I can't remember the name of it, but it's something along the lines of child refuses other parent. I think that's the title of it. And I explain my take on parents who legitimately have a child who doesn't want to go and see their other parent. So please don't go crazy on me thinking that I can't ever see that that is a possibility. That's a possibility. I understand that. But I'm not going to reiterate everything I've already said. So with that, I will go ahead and end this video. Feel free to post in the comments below if you have a teenage discretion provision in your order and if it's going well for you. And also, if it's going well for you, just flat out mention, I mean, if it's going well for you, do you even really need it in the order? Because you may be doing just fine talking to your ex and everything's, it's not something that really there's a point to. And if it's not going well and you have seen some of the exploitation and manipulation that I was talking about, post that in the comments below as well, because it's important for people to see that this is a serious thing and to oppose it if it comes up in court. And as I said, maybe you can't really win anyway. Maybe by the time your child's a teenager, there's really nothing you can do. And as I mentioned, there's a chance that maybe people need to hear your story too, so that they realize it's important for the victim parent to fight. Before I end this video, please take a look at the video, Fighting Makes It Worse. It's one of the videos where I kind of attack that whole false premise or a false conclusion in my opinion. That's what it is. I addressed that in that video. Anyway, at this point, I'll finally go ahead and end this video and get off, and I'll see you guys next time.